guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yasmin and I make DIY, home decor, and organization videos every week. So for today's video, I decided to recreate 3 of Anthropologie's decor pieces for way less. I love DIYing dupes and challenging myself to come up with creative ideas to make affordable home decor. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. For the first DIY, I wanted to recreate this candle holder from Anthropologie that retails for $38. I just really liked the simple minimal design of it and had to have it for myself. I picked up this frisbee from the dollar store and a pack of half-inch PVC pipes from Lowe's for this project. The pack comes with 10, but I only use 4 for this candle holder, and I'm saving the rest for future projects. With that said, they also sell these individually and in different sizes, so you can only get 4 if you wanted to. I would also recommend going with the half-inch because this will probably fit most taper candles. But if you have specific candles that are smaller or larger, make sure to have measurements or take the candles with you to the hardware store to find the best fit. To get started, I removed the label that was on the frisbee and lightly sanded it with 220 grit sandpaper to help glue and paint stick better to the surface in the next step. Then, I placed the 4 PVC pipes inside the frisbee in a similar arrangement to the original piece from Anthropologie. Once I was happy with the placement, I glued them down using hot glue. I held each piece in place for a few seconds to make sure it's secure. Next, I took the piece out in the garage and used Rust-Oleum spray paint in satin black and gave the top a full first coat. I let that dry for about 20 minutes and then turned it upside down and spray painted the bottom too. I let that coat dry as well, flipped it again, and spray painted the top one more time to make sure I didn't miss any areas and that I have full coverage. And that was it for this Anthropologie candle holder DIY dupe, and I really love how it turned out. Since I already had the black spray paint, this project cost me only $3, which means I saved $35 by recreating it. In the second project, I recreated this planter riser from Anthropologie that sells for $68 on their website. Again, I really liked the simplistic design and thought it's such a cute and functional accent decor piece to have. I used a green foam ring and another frisbee from the dollar store to create this double-footed riser. To get started, I cut the foam ring in half using a box cutter. Then, I used 220 grit sandpaper to smooth the bottom of each piece and to make sure it can stand straight on its own. I also removed the labeling from the frisbee similar to the last project and lightly sanded it to allow glue and paint to adhere better to the surface. Next, I placed the frisbee on top of the foam and adjusted the distance between the two legs until I was happy with the placement. Then, I used a generous amount of hot glue to attach the frisbee to the foam pieces. I gently pushed it down in place for about 30 seconds to make sure it's secure. In the next step, I took the piece outside and gave it 3 total coats of white spray paint. I waited about 20 minutes between each coat, and I also got into the crevices to make sure none of the green and pink colors are going to show through in the end. That completed this second Anthropologie Decor dupe, and I really like how it came out. It was super quick and easy to make, and it cost me about $11. This includes the white spray paint, which I still have some of it left to use in a future project. For the last DIY, I decided to recreate this $48 decorative object from Anthropologie. I really like the organic shape and the imperfections that makes this piece look handmade and unique. All I used for this project is some aluminum foil and polymer clay. I took pieces of the aluminum foil and started crumbling them up and building upon it to basically make the base for this piece. This creates a strong foundation for the clay to sit on, and it also saves so much clay that I would have had to use if I was to create this entire piece from it. Once the base was ready, I took out my stash of polymer clay for the next step. Now I had a bunch of different color clays from previous projects, so I thought this is the perfect opportunity to mix them all together to use for this DIY. But you can totally skip this whole step if you have enough of one color clay. But if you're in my shoes, this is a great hack for using up all the random clays that you have left over. With that said, I took all my leftover clays and started kneading each one to make it soft. Then, I mixed them all together and rolled them into a cylinder shape. I repeated this process over and over until the marbling and different colors started to mesh together. In the end, I was left with a green-gray color, which I happen to really love. In the next step, I started rolling out the clay into a slab using my rolling pin. I also popped any air bubbles that appeared with my X-Acto knife. I then cut the slab into 2 pieces, one larger than the other. I placed the full base on one end of the larger slab and started slowly covering it all the way by wrapping the clay around it. I repeated the same steps with the handle shape and the smaller piece of clay. I then smoothed all the seams with my fingers to make sure the clay is fully bonded and that none of the lines were visible in the end. I used small amounts of rubbing alcohol and continued smoothing out the whole piece with my fingers. Throughout this process, I wasn't worried about making it super smooth, but to make the imperfections perfect in my own way. I know working with clay can be very repetitive sometimes, but I actually find it calming. I always have my favorite show or music on in the background, and I just enjoy the process. Anyways, once I was happy with the shape, I moved on to making the circle that goes around it. To do so, I rolled out some clay into about a 1/2-inch cylinder shape. I looped it through the base and connected the two ends together, again by smoothing them out with my fingers. Once ready, I baked the entire piece in the oven at 275 degrees for about 25 minutes, according to the instructions on the packaging, and then let it completely cool down for another 25 minutes. That finished off this last DIY Anthropologie dupe, and I'm really happy with the end result. I really love the muted neutral color with the handmade organic design of this decorative object. This project didn't really cost me anything because I used all my leftover clays and aluminum foil that we had at home. But I think if you were to buy the foil from the Dollar Tree and some clay from your local craft store, it will still be under $15. I hope that you enjoyed these Anthropologie Decor Dupe DIYs and decide to recreate some of them for yourself. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!